benaylett.com is the website, 1L, 2 T's in Aylett. And there he is over the other side of the floor.
G'day, Chris. Hey, listeners.
Love the way you waved. I was going to say, mate, you are going to have to articulate it at some point.
Yeah, well, I'm waving to the camera on the live stream, which can be found at benaylett.com/live.
Oh, that's simple, benaylett.com/live. That's also
easy.
where you'll find all of the, what would I call it, contact information.
Yeah.
Just about everything else. We know just about everything about you from that website.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mate, we've had a healthcare provider, an aged care provider, hit with a ransomware attack.
Yes, we have. So the aged care provider known as Regis have been hit by a ransomware attack. This ransomware...
Regis.
Regis. Okay, so Regis have been smacked with ransomware attack. Those that are not up to speed, ransomware is when malware or basically bad software gets into your computer, scrambles your data, and then holds it for ransom. So you pay up and we'll decrypt your data.
We'll unscramble it. If you don't,
right.
It's gone forever.
Now, that was the way ransomware used to work. It's now stepped up a little bit. So in this particular case, especially with Maze ransomware, not only do they encrypt your data and charge you to decrypt it, they also siphon off a whole bunch of your data. And then once they've decrypted it, they say, great, there you go, well done. Oh, by the way, we've also got a whole lot of sensitive information which will leak. Now, we can keep it secret just between you and I if you pay us money. So pay us some more Bitcoin. So it's a double whammy.
Yeah, but the only problem is you've got absolutely no guarantee they would. The moment you do that, you're encouraged. So what do we do about this?
Well, prevention is pretty much the way to go here.
Yep.
So it comes down to things like properly configuring your systems. So there are still, and this is especially since we've had COVID and lockdown and everyone's trying to work from home.
That just makes a lot of systems more vulnerable, doesn't it?
It does, because the business owners and the people running the IT systems are suddenly faced with this push to make it available online, and some people do it without knowing exactly what they're doing, and then it just opens it up for the bad guys to get in and do their thing.
I think if we're going to do stuff like this, we have to have more direct communications.
Absolutely.
Not do stuff online, have what you might call their termed wide area networks where you're interconnected. A bit
Leased
like
lines?
best example would be a bank's telemachine.
Well,
you can't access an automatic telemachine online.
Yep.
They're all connected by private data links.
Yep.
And I think if we're going to go into this working from home, we're going to have to more and more say, well, okay, you're not actually going to log into work on the net.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be given access to a private data link.
Well, that's one way to do it. There is another way, and it's proven to be pretty robust, and it does a good job, and it's actually using your own VPN. And I'm not talking your retail version VPN, which you use to sort of protect you while you're out on a public Wi-Fi network, or if you want to make it look like you're coming from another part of the world. No, this is the VPN where the server is set up at your place of work, and you use a VPN connection from your laptop anywhere in the world to then dial back directly to work. It can be done, and it's actually becoming more and more cost effective.
Okay, before we go any further, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 922 is the number. Good day, Mark.
G'day, Chris. G'day, Ben. How are we?
Not too bad, Mark.
Good,
How's
mate,
things?
good.
Listen, I'm the proud owner of a 2015 MacBook Pro Retina display.
Nice.
I'm thinking of retiring him after some stellar service. And I've been doing a little bit of reading about the newest incarnation of Apple's MacBook Pros.
Yep.
The current bunch are powered, I believe, by an Intel Core 10 processor. But I've been reading that Apple are going to be producing their own proprietary chips.
Yep.
That's supposed to be pretty impressive. Can you explain what the difference is and which way I should go?
Okay. Now, this is going to be the big question when we see these new chips released. How are they going to go, and will it mean any more work for developers to make software for it? At this point, it's all still up in the air. We don't have many details. Now, the Intel processors you're talking about, these are the 10th generation Intel processors. They are actually still very brand new. And you'd be looking at the Core i3, i5, i7, or maybe i9 if your pockets are deep enough.
i9.
Yeah, i9. Okay, brilliant. That is a beast. I honestly don't think you'll be disappointed if you were to go and get an Intel-powered MacBook Pro now. I don't
and
think
I'd
you'll
probably
be.
save myself some cash.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can get it on special, for sure. I'm not too sure. We still don't have many details on how the new ARM-based processors that Apple is going to be making themselves, how they'll affect the bottom line, how they'll affect performance, and how they are going to affect compatibility. But look, knowing Apple, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to work really, really well.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks heaps for that, Ben. I really appreciate it.
No worries, mate. Yeah, but in your position, I'd be still gunning for the Intel-powered gear.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Mark. If you've got any technical issues or any questions for Ben, 922 11882. I read something, Ben, which I stopped for a moment and thought, nah, surely somebody's having a lend of me.
What do you got?
But apparently, NBN has booked its best ever revenue, but it's still made a multi-billion-dollar loss due in part to billions in payments to both Telstra and Optus.
Okay.
Yep. Then we've had comments from people such as NBN results are great. Be nice if the network actually worked.
Well, if you're the NBN or a massive telco, you've got to be, I suppose you have some thick skin, because every time you say, hey, look, we did a thing good, the people are going to come out of the woodwork and say, no, you didn't.
But, we know about spin doctors, mate.
Yes. Well,
I'd be more than fascinated to hear from somebody who will say to me that my NBN is good.
Yeah. Yep.
When I'm happy to hear. If you want to say my NBN is good,
yep,
give us a call.
Yeah,
because I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, the switchboard is really, really quiet. Come on, guys, prove us wrong.
Nobody's going, better tell him about the wonderful NBN. Nobody's ever said that,
They're too busy watching YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that.
Which is buffering because it's not running properly. That was an interesting one that came out there today.
Wow, okay.
When we talk about ransomware, getting back to what we were talking about, this ransomware is not only a problem for companies, it can be a problem for individuals too.
Yes, the people who have got their information kept with, say, Regis or the company that's been compromised, they are in the firing line as well, because this is sensitive medical information. And when it gets out, it is a real problem. So it creates a whole bunch of concern for not only the individual, but also for the business, because then they're going to have to face some sort of disciplinary action when it comes to, come on, you guys, you didn't do the right thing. Yeah. Now, interestingly, it is possible to, we'll come back after a call, but it is possible to try and nip this in the bud as well, and I can explain that in a minute.
We'll have to talk about that. Hi, Don.
Yeah, hey, Ben.
Yes,
hey,
Don.
We just got NBN put on, right? The bloke came in.
Yeah.
He put his box in our telecom little thing there, right?
You're right.
And he said to me, my house is too big, my ceilings are too high, and I have too many brick walls. And I got to get other things, devices in my house to get it working. I went.
So hang on a second, Don. I got to hear this one again. He told you your house is what?
My house is too big.
Yep.
My ceilings are too high.
Yep. Okay.
I have too many brick walls, and I've got to get other devices in my house to get around the joint.
Oh, fair dinkum. These blokes could not be more stupid if they were actually paid a bonus to be so.
All right. Okay.
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I had to go buy some stuff from Optus, the little personal ones.
Right.
On my pay plan, and now I've got most rooms now I can receive the internet crap.
Yeah, you know what it is. He said, for the what he's really said. Can I translate this, if you don't mind, Don? This is what he's really said to you. Your house is big, you got lots of walls, and we got this crappy little system that isn't going to work there. That's what he was saying to you, in effect.
That's what I said too.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is.
All right. So look, what's happening here is that the Wi-Fi transmitter on the router that's been supplied to you by your telco, it's fine for a short distance, but when it comes to dealing with large areas, it's just not going to cut it. What I recommend you do is, if you can, disable the Wi-Fi part of that router, or just don't use it, but go and get, let's say, Ubiquiti. So Ubiquiti. Ubiquiti, they make fantastic wireless gear. You can get yourself a couple of Ubiquiti wireless access points, and if you know how to get those set up, you'll be laughing, because they are very, very powerful. If you want to go for the easy option, you can go and get the Google Nest Wi-Fi. This is super easy to set up, and you can get like 2 or 3 nodes, spread them throughout the house, and you've got great coverage. And that's it.
But the funny part was, he said to me, when I sell this house, I can't take the NBN box with me.
No, you can't.
It stays in the house.
That's right, yes.
So they're not bad, are they?
Oh, mate, trust me. This,
Yeah. The
don't
NBN
get me started, Don.
Yeah, the NBN modems are actually tied to the address, not the actual individual or the account
Why
holder.
would you want to take them anyway? The pieces of crap.
Yeah, okay.
Mate,
Yes.
I've worked that out. I'll give you the tip.
You don't have to be a genius to figure it out, do you, Don?
And I'm an old fella, mate. I think, what the fuck? Oh, sorry.
Well, hang on. No, can't let you say that, Don. Look,
Wow.
to be
Whoops.
fair, I probably encouraged it, but Don, don't take it, don't take it personally. But you get why I had to dump you. How can
That's
I
a
put?
first for me.
Haven't you ever had that?
I've never.
Isn't
We've
it
never had to
fun?
dump.
Isn't it fun? Do you like the way? Did you see the light back there? What it did?
I saw the light.
Yeah, it's all fun, isn't it?
Oh dear. I've been doing this for 9 years. That's the first time that's happened.
You got to admit that just flowed out. I mean, it wasn't malicious.
No,
it
no.
was just a natural part of
That's
the
right.
conversation.
It's as easy as breathing.
It's
really.
just one of those words you can't let
Good
go
on
to
you,
air.
Don.
But that's all right, Don. Do not take that personally. I begrudgingly dumped you because I had to.
Yeah.
I had no intention. I didn't want to, but I had to.
Yeah, I got to check back the video for my reaction on that one. I thought that was hilarious.
Hello, Di.
Hi, how's Bernadette?
She's doing very well, thank you.
Oh, great. What about the weather tomorrow? My God, it's going to be very cold and windy.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't have... cold and windy makes me fear for how the NBN's going to work, you know.
Yes, I know. Well, I'm supposed to be doing a fundraiser for Historic West, and I'm thinking, my God, who's going to turn out in that weather to the high tea? We'll all be sitting there by our own selves, won't we?
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Maybe their Wi-Fi will work a bit better than somebody else's, though.
Oh, gosh, I hope so.
Yep. Now, Di, do you have a question for Ben? Because Ben's sitting here waiting for a technical question.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
On what?
Oh,
On technology.
No, that's all right. Obviously, that wasn't the reason why you called. Thank you for that, Di. 92211 is our telephone number if you'd like to have a chat to Ben Aylett. 1L, 2 T's in Aylett. Website is benaylett.com. He's identified by his Hawaiian shirt. We still haven't got him a combi fan yet, but we're working on that. 92211 is a telephone number.
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Malware, ransomware, all this stuff that ends up costing you money, causing all sorts of difficulties. Regis Healthcare have had a problem with that.
That's right.
And somebody else has had a problem with it. Garmin.
Yeah.
The fitness and GPS people, they paid, according to reports, a ransom of $10 million.
Yeah.
Was that really smart to do that? Because I kind of figure once you do it once, they are going to come back for more helpings.
Well, after the event, I would have to say they would have had no other option, because the way this hit their systems, I'm not too sure if they actually had designed their networks properly. So they managed to have the GPS devices knocked out, and then they also had like the wearable market was wiped out. I think there was also an application used by pilots that was provided by Garmin, and that was also unavailable. And then I think a few other parts of their cloud infrastructure was taken out too. So the damage was really, really extensive, and I think they kind of had no other option but to pay the ransom, and then crossing their fingers that hopefully the bad guys still don't have like set up residents on the network, so they can just turn around and go and do it again. So yeah, I mean, if they pay once, there's nothing stopping them from having to pay again.
And who knows if they're not putting something else on there that's going to give them access to go back in the future when they want a second helping.
Well, that's usually the first thing that hackers do. So if I was to breach someone's network, I'd find a way in, and that's step one. Step two is to find a way for me to get back in again once they patch the hole that I've managed to exploit to get in. So it's called a reverse shell, or like a remote access or persistent access. Once that's established, we then go on, we do what's called reconnaissance. So we have a look at all the systems on the network. We look at what machines are there, who's using the machines. We even try to find ways to elevate our access to administrator level. And if you can do that, well, then you've got control over everything and you can just go to town. But typically, when a business or an individual is compromised, we have this thing called dwell time, and that's the time it takes for someone to discover that a bad guy's on the network from when they get in.
Yep.
And that's typically 12 to 18 months.
Right.
So it takes that long. So a bad guy has that much time to rummage around someone's network to have a good
Crikey,
look at
mate,
what's
he could
going on.
rebuild your bloody system in that time.
He absolutely
He could create programs that nobody even knows exist, and nobody searching through. Somebody like yourself would find it very, very hard to find.
Exactly.
I mean, 18 months gives them time to reinvent the wheel twice over.
Exactly. So this is the thing that we're failing with cybersecurity, is we're not actually keeping an eye on what's going on.
No.
So we've really got to keep a close look at it.
G'day, Charlie.
Yeah, g'day, mate. How are you, Ben?
Very good, Charlie. What's up, mate?
Listen, I live up in the hills, way out in the back blocks. I've got NBN marching up the street, the
Nice.
plumbing for it.
Yep.
I don't use a telephone system. I have a line here purely for my ADSL,
All right.
which is slow, whatever, but I'm happy with it.
Okay.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen when NBN comes past? Am I going to be forced to use it?
Within
do
18
I-
months? Yes.
Yeah, you'll have an 18-month timeline from when they say it's available to when they turn around and cut the old ADSL line.
All right. I live in a battle axe block. I've got about 150 metres of the old copper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How's that going to affect me?
Yeah, I'm not really too sure. It really depends on the area you're in.
It's in Wooroloo, so the copper's going to be old. It was put in there when Bob Menzies was Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I actually think they dug the copper out of the ground here.
They left a little bit in for you. Okay. I can't say I know exactly how it's going to pan out for you, but the way it usually works is they usually persist with the copper that's in the ground. If it's really bad and they can't get a signal, they're obviously going to try copper a few times for a few houses. And if that fails, then they're going to turn around and say, okay, look, we're going to have to go for fixed wireless. And fixed wireless, it
Why
could
don't
work.
they just run fibre to the premises?
Because they probably didn't budget for it. It's not a part of the plan. That all changed when Mr. Turnbull decided, no, we're going to go for...
We should have known better because he
fibre to
ran
the node.
Aussie Mail. He should have known better.
Yeah, well, the proof provides otherwise.
Are there any options for me, like using what do you call it? What I'm talking on now, Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi. What do you call it?
Mobile.
Mobile.
Yep. Okay, yes, mobile is an option. It might be a little more expensive. Well, it will be more expensive, but mobile is an option. What you can also do is have a chat to the guys at Pentanet. They might have coverage for your area, or they might be planning coverage. Now, what these guys do is they do fixed wireless, but it's not the NBN fixed wireless. It's actually something completely different, and I've heard nothing but good things from these guys. So I'd recommend checking out Pentanet. They're a Perth business, and probably worth looking into.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm line of sight to this huge tower.
Is that the one? Is that the one at Sawyers Valley?
No, it's in Wooroloo actually, not far from Acacia Prison, and it's a brilliant big tower. I get 5 bars.
Well, actually, you might be in luck then, because you might
may well be.
also be getting a decent signal. Thanks very much for that, Charlie, but there's some areas and points to consider. Hey, Ben, just before we wrap up, what did you say was a really simple and obvious way to protect oneself from this ransomware?
Well, get experts in on the game for it to start with. Now, the people that I work for, which is Red Piranha, they've actually been tracking this threat that's Maze ransomware, as well as all the others before they became an attack.
Yep.
And they've actually updated their devices in homes and businesses around Australia, and they've actually stopped the ransomware before it actually became ransomware. So they were ready for it before it happened.
So they saw it coming.
Absolutely, they saw it coming.
What
They
sort of
tracked
protection
threats.
should people have? Because a lot of people probably have ransomware on their computer. They are completely unaware.
Ransomware makes itself pretty known because that's the way it works. But yeah, if you've got anyone who's exploited your system and you usually don't know someone's in there until it's too late, So what you can do, first of all, get educated. Understand that there are no such thing as free iPhones. You're filling in those questionnaires on social media is probably not a good idea. Just try and use the internet with a bit of caution. If you receive an email that claims to be from anyone or anything that's got an attachment or a link that you didn't ask for, don't click it.
And don't enter competitions.
Yeah, competitions on the internet. Yeah. And then make sure that you have everything patched. So always
all your updates. When it says we have new updates, do the updates. Yes, it might be a pain in the neck, but do them anyway.
Yeah, go start the update. Go make yourself a cup of tea or something, and then come back. Updates are done. You got yourself a cup of tea. Win-win.
Sounds like a perfect plan to me. Why didn't we think of that?
All right, and just make sure everything's up to date. Let's see, don't click on dumb stuff. And
the old cliche applies: when in doubt, leave it out.
Yes,
that always applies.
Yep.
Ben, as always, thank you very much. We'll have a chat again next week.
Always a pleasure.
All right, don't forget, Ben's contact information can be found at benaylett.com. That's where you'll find all of his contact information, also some interesting articles, etc. Remember that, benaylett.com.